Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be counting down the top 5 trainer cards that needs a reprint, in my opinion. If you guys got your own opinion on what trainer cards that need to be reprinted in the Sun and Moon area, just let me know in the comment section nicely please guys. And just remember, this is my opinion. So cards I will be including in this list will be all 4 type of trainer cards, so supporters, items, tools and stadiums. And it's got to be cards that are still in the standard format from the X and Y series. So I won't be including cards from Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon Guardian Rising. These are cards I think that need to be reprint in the Sun and Moon era, and they need to keep going in the standard format and not get rotated out. So with all that out of the way, let's begin this video. Well, list. God, I'm not reading my script right. Alright, so at number 5 we got Aquabike from Primal Clash. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck and you put one of them into your hand. You discard the other card. Now this card is great for decks that really helps you get cards from your discarded pile. So I'm mainly going to take this as an example, but my deck that I'm running right now is the Tapu Bulu Loantis GX deck, and as you guys know, I like to have my grass energy in my discarded pile so the Loantis can use Fire Supply and set up a bench. And Aquabike can help with that. I draw 2 cards, and I draw, let's say, a supporter and like a draw supporter or something that I need, and a grass energy. I could be like, oh, this is great. Take that draw supporter, put the grass engine discarded. I got Loantis out to get that back out, and I got my draw supporter to get a fresh new hand. So that's the brilliant side of Aquabike. But the reason why it's at number 5 is because it does have its downfall. Sometimes you might not get those energies. You might get 2 supporters and you're like, oh, which one do I choose? I need them both. I can't afford to discard one. So it has its downfalls, and that's why it's at number 5. At number 4, we do have Skyfield from Roaring Skies. So now Skyfield, each player can have 8 Pokemon on his or her bench. When this card leaves the play, each player discards bench Pokemon until he or she has 5 Pokemon on the bench. The owner of this card discards first. It's one of the top tier stadium cards out there, and you guys can see why. There's hardly any downfall to this card, and where you guys been seeing me play this, I love playing it with Sudowoodo from Guardian Rising. It has been, thanks to that Sudowoodo, it has become a much better card, and that's why I think it needs a reprint. It's got a Pokemon that could be comboed with very well, because the problem was, you could have 8 Pokemon, but so can your opponent. Your opponent could take advantage of this. But Sudowoodo, at the same time it can help you, it can go against you. So Sudowoodo it's good and it's bad. And that's why it's only on number 4 on this list. But I do want to see this card get reprinted. It is still a good stadium, even though you've got Sudowoodo running around. But to the next one. At number 3, we have Slopestone from well, it's been already reprinted once, but the last reprinted version was in Breakthrough. The Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat costs. It's probably one of the most played tools Pokemon cards out there. It's because it's mainly it gets your Pokemon out of the active. And yes, you can say we now have Field Blower running around, taking Floatstones off. But the turn you play this card could help you. It will still help you. Because when you play this card, you still got that whole turn to retreat. So you got a let's say someone Lysandre's you, and you don't want that Pokemon at the front, you know you're going to set up, and you draw into that top deck Floatstone. You're like, yes, I know my opponent's probably going to play a Field Blower, but at least I could get my active out back onto the bench and have my main attacker out. And you cannot stall for more turns. It's still a very useful card, even though you got Field Blower out and about. And that's why I want to see this card being reprinted. It would not be long until Breakthrough is out. I think with the sets coming out this year after World Championship, the meta game will be changing, and that's because of some of these cards being on this list going out. This is why I want to see it stay in the standard format. But anyway, to do the next one, at number 2, we have Thirst Seeker, probably one of the most played item cards. And this has already seen one reprint in a secret rare form from Roaring Skies, which is rumoured to be the next set to be rotated out. So like with Skyfield, I don't want to see it. Now you can go around and say, oh, there's Golbodo, the Trassalanch, it will power him up. But the thing is, you get a supporter card from your discarded pile into your hand. Guys, that is so good. It's probably one of the best item cards you can have out there. It gets played in every single deck. I even am playing it in my deck of the Antis Bulu. I've been playing 2 of them. Like, usually people will play 4, but because of the Golbodo Trassalanch going around, people have been playing, they've been cutting it in half and just playing 2. And playing 2 is still helpful. Using up all the supporters. Let's say you use up all your ends and sycamores and you're like, oh crap, I got a bad hand here. First Seeker could save you from that situation. That's why it needs another reprint. And it's already seen about, so Roaring Skies was its 4th reprint. What will stop them from doing a 5th? Burning Shadows, anyone? But now to the honourable mentions. So let's start off with a good old favourite, Lysandre. We all know it's going to happen. Lysandre is going to get rotated this year. But reason it's not on my list, and the only reason it's not on my list, is because we got Guzma coming out in Burning Shadow, which basically does the same effect as Lysandre, but it also lets you switch your Pokemon. People have been arguing that, oh, is Guzma's better than Lysandre, or Lysandre's so better. That type of argument is down to personal opinion. Personally, I think both cards is as good as each other. So in a way, we are getting a Lysandre reprint, but it'll just be called something else with an added effect. That's why it's not on this list. Secondly, Bursting Balloon. This card is what made Greninja the deck of the year back in its days, like last year. Bursting Balloon, basically attach it to your Pokemon, and if your opponent attack you on their next turn, they take 60 damage. If they don't, then the cards go straight into the discarded pile at the end of your opponent's turn. So it's basically, this card was a turn buyer. It will buy you a turn and you could just get set up because they would not want to take 60 damage. But the reason it's not on this list is because of cards like Field Blower and Garbodor running around. It kind of made this card become useless. You put it on one turn, your opponent's turn, you put it on your turn and you're thinking, oh great, I could better save myself a turn. Then they Field Blower, get it off, and they have Garbodor Trash Launch down the field. Oh, not good. And that's why it's not on this list. Next we got Trainer's Mail. It's mainly for the same reason why it's not on this list. Because of that Garbodor Trash Launch. I've been seeing people been taking it out of their, like completely taking it out of their decks because of Garbodor Trash Launch. And that's why I think it's not deserved onto this list. But it's basically what it does is that you search your deck for 4 cards. And if one of them's a trainer card, a set from Trainer's Mail, you could take it and put it in your hand. And of course, stop with better cards are back in your deck. But the problem is because of that Garbodor Trash Launch, you're powering him up really with this card. And that's why it's not onto this list. Next we've got Forest of Giant Plants. Brilliant card. And it made Decidueye what he is today. And that is why I don't want to see Forest of Giant Plants anymore. And yeah, I know I'm running the grass deck myself. But the thing is, I'm playing a stage 1. It doesn't bother me too much. I can still get set up pretty quickly. But decks like Decidueye, Fire Plume, they rely on plants to be out. And that's why I don't want to see a reprint of this card. But I had to put in the honorable mentions. But basically what it does is that your grass Pokemon evolve on your first turn or the turn that you played the card. So really you get Decidueye, like 3 Decidueyes out in one turn if you can do that. And then finally, Professor Sycamore. He would have been my number 6. I really do want, it's one of the strongest aggressive supporter cards you can have. You basically discard your whole hand and draw 7 cards. It's as simple as that. And it's a card that gets played in every single deck. And we always get these type, every generation we always get a type of card of a professor where you discard your hand and draw 7 cards. It was the same with Professor Juniper back from the black and white days. Of course, X and Y versus Sycamore. But they kind of changed that in Sun and Moon with Professor Kukui, where it does draw 2 cards, but you do an extra training damage. So, in a way, Sycamore does need to be reprinted. I will agree with you on that one. But I feel like my other cards on this list are more important than the Sycamore, because you still got your heavy draw supporters out there. And that's it for the honorable mentions. Let's get down to number 1. And that is Max Elixir from Breakpoint. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach a basic energy you can find there to a basic Pokemon on your bench. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. See, now this is more biased. It's very biased with me on this one. Because I'm of course using Tapu Bulu. Max Elixirs, I need it for my deck, and if you see this card get rotated out, I'm going to be like, oh, I can't set up as quick as I used to be with my deck. So that's the main reason why I don't want to see this card get rotated out. It will affect me because the deck I'm using. It will affect all the speed turbo type of decks. It will affect it would be hard hitting on the Turbo Darkrai EX deck. Darkrai EX needs its Max Elixirs. And without that, he's not gonna It's not going to be a turbo deck anymore. There are going to be no turbo decks really if this card gets rotated out. So that's why this card really needs to stay in the standard format, because most decks that are so competitive will be taken out. And I feel like with Max Elixir going out, with those decks going out as well with it, it will really damage the competitive scene, and I don't want that. Reason I love the whole Pokemon trading card game is how diverse the decks are. There are so many different decks you could choose from. This is just going off script now, because this is how I personally feel about TCG. It's probably one of the best card games that ever is out there. It's better than Yu-Gi-Oh! It's better than Magic. This is my opinion, so sorry to all like Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans and all to the Magic fans and other card games fans. I respect you and all that. I know I respect your opinion. Like, I used to play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day myself as well, but Yu-Gi-Oh! I lost interest in. But with Pokemon, it has such a diverse range of decks to use, and you always go in the competitive scene and be like, you always find that one person just using a deck that no one else has used. For example, last year at the Worlds, we had the winner, I forgot his name, but he was using Mega Ordino. No one saw that coming, and that's why I like Pokemon. You could create so many decks that people would not see, and you'll be like, wow. And with Max Elixir getting rotated, I feel like that's going to take out most decks. So this is why Max Elixir is number one. It is probably one of my favorite as well. One of my favorite cards. But that's it for this video. Like I said before, this is my opinion. If you got a completely different opinion, let me know down in the comments. I would love to know what cards you think that will need a reprint. But other than that, if you have enjoyed this video, please like it. Please subscribe and share it with friends, family, and all the other strangers around the world. And I shall catch you in the next video. Goodbye, my friends.